Kelly Shepard coming to you from Breathe Easy Wheezy on YouTube. I'm so glad you joined me today. You might have noticed I'm a little dressed up, right? I got my big heavy jacket on. I got my scarf, I got my hat, I got my little glovies. Yep, I am dressed warm. Are we going on a field trip? No. No, you should be so lucky. Anyway, the reason I'm dressed up so warm is because I wanted to talk about how we dress affects our breathing. I'm coming to you from up here in the Pacific Northwest. It is winter right now. It is January 22nd. To think about that for a second. And it's a bright sunny day up here. What? Don't tell those Southern Californians I said that. But it's true. It's a bright sunny day up here in the middle of winter. And when the clouds go away up here, what happens is it gets really cold real fast. So you guys might have noticed I've got my hat. You know this from your mother. If you wear a hat, it keeps a lot of the heat inside. We lose a lot of heat through our head. So if it's cold outside, put a hat on it. All right? The other thing I've got my scarf on. And I've got a little loop-de-loop scarf. I can breathe, I can pull it up, and I can breathe right in here. I have to look down a little bit, but that's okay. I can breathe right in there as I'm walking from my car into a building. And what that does is it heats up the air before I breathe it in through my mouth or my nose. It heats it up. It also humidifies it. That's good stuff right there. I have gloves on because you want to keep your hands warm, especially if you're going to be using an oximeter. And oh, my jacket has this fancy stuff. What are you thinking? Did she tape some foil in there? No. This stuff actually reflects the heat back at my body. What? Yes, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff out in clothes these days. I'm gonna undress because my house is not in the 40s or the 30s, so I'll just like burn up, which would not be appropriate either. But today we're gonna specifically talk about weather, dressing for cold weather. So when I had my scarf on and I was heating up the air before I breathe it into my lungs, and I said it also adds some humidity because every time we exhale, we lose moisture. So heating that up is really important. Let me get my airway. We're going to talk about why. If we have really cold air, so gosh, I don't have a thermometer outside the house. But this morning when I went to let the dog out, it was definitely below freezing. There was frost everywhere. It was very thick on the cars. So it was below freezing. If I breathe in that below freezing air, all humans, not just people with lung disease, but all humans, our airways will react with really cold air. What? Yes. So I can take somebody who has no lung disease and I can take them up to the Arctic Circle where it's like, 50 below zero, and their airways are going to react. So those of us with lung disease, obviously we're going to react, our airways are going to react to that cold stimulus or that cold trigger or that cold irritant more quickly than somebody without lung disease. So when we breathe in really cold air, and everybody's body's different. I've lived in mine almost 48 years, so I'm pretty in tune with it at this point. Some people have lived in their body 75 years and they're not in tune with it. Like they just, their body's sending them signals and they're just plowing through the activity or whatever. So those people, they really need to work on self-assessment, and that'll be a different video. That's a whole different skill set. I know for me, when the temperature drops below 45 degrees, 45 and lower, if I go outside and I'm having to breathe deep, I'm gonna have an asthma attack. So what happens with that? Well, whether I have COPD, bronchitis, emphysema, bronchiectasis, cystic fibrosis, I don't care. Even my restrictive lung diseases, my IPFers, my interstitial lung disease, my pulmonary fibrosis, those kinds of people, my ARDS people, right? My post-COVID syndrome people. What? Yes. So what happens is when when we go outside and we breathe in that really cold air, the first thing that happens is that smooth muscle, you can see it right here, that green wrapped around the outside of my airway, that smooth muscle closes right down. So that's bronchospasm or bronchoconstriction. That happens immediately. So it can, vary in degrees on different people how much it's going to clamp down, but it really changes how much air we can get in and out of our lungs. Now, the next thing that happens is it can cause inflammation or swelling on the inside of our airway. And we talked about this in a previous video that inflammation is a very slow response. So I go outside at 6 a.m. and it's 30 degrees outside and I breathe it in. I'm going to have airway constriction. Now, slowly over the next 4 to 6 hours, the inside of my airway will swell shut. Now, obviously, if I go outside and I come back in within a couple of minutes, it's not going to swell shut a whole lot. But when we have lung disease, any little bit matters. That changes our breathing, and that changes how we feel. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to feel as good as I can get. I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be breath starved. I don't want to be short of breath. I don't want to be feeling like I'm suffocating. I want energy and breath for the fun things that I want to do, right? Chasing the dog, playing with the dog, yelling at my kid. No, I don't. Well, I do yell at them, but not like every day. Dancing, doing the dishes, cooking dinner. I love cooking. It's a passion of mine, cooking and baking. Getting dressed, doing my hair, doing my makeup, getting out to my car, going to the grocery market, seeing what other people are putting in their cart. Yeah, I do that. I look at them. What? They got Cheetos? What? Anyway, I digress. Happens so often. So anyway, cold air is a trigger. If it's really cold, so below freezing, is there a lot of moisture in the air? No, because the moisture is frozen. So that is going to irritate the inside of my airways, right? That's going to irritate it, and that's going to cause my lungs to start secreting mucus because it doesn't know what's irritating it. It doesn't know if it's particulate matter like pollen or dust or something that I'm breathing in the air, ash, that shouldn't be in there. And so it starts secreting mucus to help protect the inside of my airways. So that mucus is there to trap anything that should not be there. So now I've got some bronchospasm, I've got a little bit of swelling, and I've got mucus. Those are our 3 major obstructions. And if you don't remember that video, go back and watch it. It's on my channel. Breathe Easy Wheezy in the search bar of your YouTube. Or you could do Breathe Easy Wheezy channel in the search bar of YouTube. And then I believe you'll get all my videos. I don't know. Pretty new to this stuff. If you guys know more than I do, leave it in the comment sections down below so that I can learn. Because I know a whole lot about lungs. I know a whole lot about the heart. And I know a whole lot about health. But technology is not really my thing. Anyway, so I love you guys enough that I'm willing to learn technology. Just so that I can help you guys and get more information out to you, because this stuff is really important. And I spent the first 20 years of my life suffocating and in the patient bed, and it sucks. It just stinks. It's not fun, and so I don't want that for you guys. Okay, so we talked about humidity. Well, when we exhale, when you're outside and it's below freezing, you can see the moisture coming out of you, right? And so you're losing moisture, you're actually dehydrating. So that's why we want to use that little scarf. I don't put it all the way up against my face, okay? Up against my face is what I was saying. What I do is I create like a little cup, and I'm gonna lean forward and I'm gonna hope y'all can see the distance. It's got a little bit of a distance so that my breath can kind of get in that little cup there. Am I rebreathing some of my carbon dioxide? Yes, but a little bit, a very little bit, okay? So we've talked about that. Now let's talk about what else happens when we get cold. So before we go there, let's just do like a quick little recap. To move this vehicle, the body, that's the vehicle I'm talking about, we need fuel. So we need oxygen, we need sugar, and those fuels make our muscles run. As our muscles consume oxygen and sugar, they produce a waste product, carbon dioxide. If we can't get rid of our carbon dioxide quick enough, we feel short of breath. If we're low on fuel, meaning there's not enough oxygen in the vehicle, in the body, then we feel short of breath. And certainly if both things are occurring, we feel yucky. Ugh. Okay? So we want plenty of fuel in the vehicle. When we get cold, so if I go outside and I'm just wearing a t-shirt and jeans and it's below freezing, or maybe I'm really concerned about how cute I look in my outfit and I'm just wearing some leggings and like a little tank top and just a little thin sweater or cardigan over it, I'm gonna get cold, all right? I'm gonna get cold. You're gonna get cold if you do it. Don't do it. Dress up. Do what your mama told you. At least my mama told me to do that. Put your hat on. Where's your jacket? And I'm like, we're just going to the car. We're just going to the car. The car's going to be warm, and then we're going to drive to the store, and we'll be inside the nice warm store. And my mother always said, y'all need a mother like mine, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully y'all have mothers like mine. Really loving and caring and smart. She always said, but honey, what if we get in a car accident? What if the vehicle breaks down? What if the road ends up closed and we're sitting in the car and you get really cold? You need to dress for the weather. Even if you think you're just going from the house to the car to a building, something could happen. She's so right. It did happen to me. I hope it doesn't happen to you, but it did, and I was stuck because of a fatality car accident they had to clear. It was winter, and I was stuck in my vehicle for over an hour, and there was snow on the ground. Luckily, I had plenty of stuff in my vehicle. The only thing I didn't have plenty of stuff was gas. I didn't have plenty of gasoline in my vehicle, actually, and so I couldn't leave it running the whole time. But I had dressed warm like my mama had told me to, and I always keep a blanket in my car, too, because you never know when you're going to need an impromptu nap. And so I had plenty of stuff to keep me warm, thankfully. I learned a good lesson that day, which is never let your tank go below a half a tank of gas. Sometimes a quarter tank is not enough. So little lessons we learn along the way. I'm sure you guys know more about cars than I do, and hallelujah. So if we go outside and it is really, really cold, what are our muscles? What do they do when we get really cold? We shiver, right? And when those muscles, when we're shivering, what are they doing? They're contracting and releasing, tensing up and relaxing. So when those muscles tense up, when they contract, they're using more oxygen, right? It takes more fuel to do that. And they're producing more carbon dioxide. So when that happens, we have to pick up the respiratory rate. Our respiratory system goes into overdrive. Our respiratory system is like, hey, there's just not enough fuel. Let's breathe a little faster, get more oxygen in. But now we've got even more muscles working, and they're consuming more oxygen, but they're also producing more carbon dioxide. Not to mention all of those muscles in our back, right next to our spinal cord, that are tensing up and relaxing. And they're doing that, they're contracting and releasing to generate heat. If you just keep yourself warm in the first place, our muscles can relax. And when they relax, that frees up oxygen for us to walk into the store or walk to our car or whatever it is that we need to do. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them down below. I will get back to you. I don't check all of my emails and everything every day. I'm hoping to change that here soon, time permitting. And if you found this information useful, if you want to learn more about your lungs and how to prevent shortness of breath or suffocation, I like to use those interchangeably, subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. That way you get notified when I put out new material. So until then, I hope you take very good care of yourself and dress warmly, right? I also want you guys to know you can find me at breatheasywheezy.com, BREATHEEASYWHEEZY.com. I will put links down below in the show notes. All right. You can also find me at Breathe Easy Wheezy with underscores on Instagram. And obviously you found me right here, and Kelly Shepard, SHEPARD, Facebook. And again, links will be down below. So if you're interested in learning more, go to those spots. I might have different material than what I've got on this channel here. You never, ever know. You never know. Until then, breathe easy.